El Argar is the type site of an early Bronze Age culture called the Argaric culture, which flourished from the town of Antis, in what is now the province of Almería, southeast of Spain, between c. 2200 BC and 1550 BC. The Argaric culture was characterized by its early adoption of bronze, which briefly allowed this tribe local dominance over other Copper Age peoples. El Argar also developed sophisticated pottery and ceramic techniques, which they traded with other Mediterranean tribes. The center of this civilization is displaced to the north, and its extension and influence is clearly greater than that of its ancestor. Their mining and metallurgy were quite advanced, with bronze, silver and gold being mined and worked for weapons and jewelry. Pollen analysis in a peat deposit in the Canada del Gitano Basin high in the Sierra de Baza suggests that the Argaric exhausted precious natural resources, helping bring about its own ruin. The deciduous oak forest that covered the region's slopes were burned off, leaving a telltale carbon layer, and replaced by the fire-tolerant and fire-prone Mediterranean scrub familiar under the names Garrigan Mackey. Extension. The civilization of El Argar extended to all the province of Almería, north onto the central Meseta, to most of the Landov and westwards into the provinces of Granada and Jaén. Its cultural and possibly political influence was much wider, clearly influencing eastern and southwestern Iberia, and possibly other regions as well. Some authors have suggested that El Argar was a unified state. Main Argaric towns: El Argar, irregularly shaped. Fuente Vermja, small fortified site, 3 kilometers north of El Argar. Lugarico Viejo, larger town very close to Fuente Vermja. Puntaran Chico, in the top of a small hill, near Beniasian. Ifra, on a rocky elevation. Zapata, 4 kilometers west of Ifra, fortified. Cabazo Redondo, one of the biggest settlements, on a rocky elevation next to an old lagoon and salt evaporation pond. Gaitis, fortified town on a hill with remarkable water canalizations. El Oficio, atop of a well-defended hill, strongly fortified, especially towards the sea. Cerro de las Vinas, Coy, Spain. Fuente Alamo, the citadel is atop a hill, while the houses are terraced in its southern slope. Almizrac, a town dating to Los Miles civilization. Cerro de la Virgen de Ors, Cerro de la Encina, Cuesta del Negro. Periodization. The culture of El Argar is divided in two phases, named A and B. El Argar A. This phase started in the 18th century BC, with the earliest calibrated C14 dates pointing to the first half of this century. 1785 BC in the transitional late Chalcolithic early Bronze of Cerro de la Virgen de Ors, a peripheral site. 1730 BC in Fuente Alamo for El Argar A2, with 6 undated A1 layers under it. 1700 BC in Cuesta del Negro with clear Argarian materials in its lower layer. El Argar B. This phase begins in the 16th century BC. The main C14 date is that of 1550 BC in Fuente Alamo for the upper layer of El Argar B2. Other stratigraphic dates are somewhat more recent but are not confirmed by C14. Post-Argarian phase El Argar B ends in the 14th or 13th century BC, giving way to a less homogeneous post-Argarian culture. Again, Fuente Alamo gives the best C14 dating with 1330 BC. Material culture. Metallurgy. El Argar is the center of the early and middle Bronze Age in Iberia. Metallurgy of bronze and pseudo-bronze. Weapons are the main metallurgic product. Knives, halberds, swords, spear and arrow points, and big axes of curved edge are all abundant, not just in the Argaric area but also elsewhere in Iberia. Silver is also exploited, while gold, which had been abundant in the Chalcolithic period, becomes less common. Glass beads. A meaningful element are the glass beads that are found in this culture and which have been related with similar findings in Egypt, Mycenae and Greece, the British culture of Wessex and some sites in France. Nevertheless, some of these beads are already found in Chalcolithic contexts, which has brought him to speculate on an earlier date for the introduction of this material in southeast Iberia. Other manufactured goods. Pottery undergoes important changes, almost totally abandoning decoration and with new types. Textile manufacture seems important, working specially with wool and flax. Basket making also seems to have been important, showing greater extent and diversification than in previous periods. Funerary customs. The collective burial tradition typical of European megalithic culture is abandoned in favor of individual burials. The tholus is abandoned in favor of small cists, either under the homes or outside. This trend seems to come from the eastern Mediterranean, most likely from Mycenae and Greece. From the Argarian civilization, these new burial customs will gradually and irregularly extend to the rest of Iberia. In the phase B of this civilization, burial in pithoi becomes most frequent. Again, this custom seems to come from Greece, where it was used after California 2000 BC. Related cultures. Los Millares. Its antecessor culture, Bronze of Levante, extending by the land of Valencia, with smaller towns but very related to Argar. Motius. What would seem a military march of these Proto-Iberian peoples. Cogatas culture was influenced by Argar. Southwestern Iberian Bronze Circle, Mycenae and Greece. Some cultural exchanges across the Mediterranean are very clear, with Argarians adopting Greek funerary customs, while Greeks also import the Iberian tholus for the same purpose. Nuragic civilization. Cultural exchange and probably influenced the Nuragic people with their tholus. Bibliography. F. Jorda Serdareal. History of Spain 1. Prehistory. Grado Z. 1986. ISBN 84-249-1015-X.